Hello, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Shayna Cersei, and today we are in my studio full force. It's a bit of a mess, as you can see, but we are going to talk today about something very practical for all artists, and that's color mixing. This is for beginners or for those who have been kind of finding their way through mixing colors and just happening upon great colors as they mix, but don't really know why or how they're getting the results they're getting. That was me for a very long time, and I had kind of stumbled my way through color mixing until I really sat down and learned why and how of the different properties. So we're going to talk about how to pick out paints specifically. So this could apply to acrylics, oils, and watercolor. I'm going to be specifically focusing on watercolor, but many people ask, especially beginners or those trying to change mediums, what should I invest in if I'm going to be trying something new, or what do I really need to get started? And that's a really important question because you don't need a lot. You can buy 6 different watercolors, so 6 different colors. And the set I'm going to be using today and recommend for beginners, especially if you want to start out with tube watercolor paints, would be the Daniel Smith line. It is a slightly pricier, higher end line, but if you are going to invest in your watercolor progress and you want to do a higher end, then this is a great line, and I can show you with the Watercolor Essentials kit. This is the one I'm going to recommend. In this kit, there are 6 tubes of paint in which you can mix colors to get a wide range of different colors, values, saturated, desaturated, and we're going to show you how to do that today. So in this set, there are 6 colors. There are 2 yellows, 2 reds, and 2 blues. Some people might ask, isn't that a waste of my money? Why on earth would I need 2 blues, 2 reds, and 2 yellows? Well, I'm going to show you here today how those 6 colors can get you a wide range of different colors when mixed together, including dark browns, grays, and even black. So let's get to it and jump right in.
Okay, so the question is, what colors do I really need to get started? And the answer is really red, yellow, and blue, just as we've always been taught are our primary colors. However, every primary color has a little bit of bias in it, so it leans one way or the other. Some reds really want to be more yellow, and some reds really want to be more blue. So we're going to talk about our warm and our cool colors for red, yellow, and blue, which is why we need 2 of each. We need 1 red that leans more blue, and we need 1 red that leans more yellow. We're going to start out with our cool colors. So this is our quinacridone rose, our Hansa yellow light, and also the phthalo blue. So these are the cool versions of our red, yellow, and blue. And these all come from the Daniel Smith line, like I think I talked about earlier. And you're gonna get 2 of each of these, a warm and a cool one, in this line. And this is a great set that kind of gives you everything you need for all the color mixing that you need. So it's important to know that each color, like I said, leans one way or the other. So in this set, you're going to see, or these 3 colors, you're going to see that they are leaning towards the cool side. So my red wants to be a little bit blue, wants to go hang out with blue, and so does my yellow. However, the red and the yellow in this set, they're both leaning towards blue. They want to be friends with blue. They do not want to be friends with each other, unfortunately. And you're going to see that when we mix them, we're going to get a much different color than we're expecting. We expect when we mix red and yellow, we get a really bright orange, beautiful color. But when you're mixing 2 colors that want to be with the other primary color, you don't always get that result. So you can see here when we mix this cool red and cool yellow, we're going to get a very muted, desaturated orange. It's still going to be orange, but what's happening here is that it's becoming more muted and more desaturated because red and yellow both have undertones of blue. And when you mix the opposite or the complementary color, the opposite on the color wheel of another color with it, it desaturates it and brings it down in its brightness. You can see that our red and our blue, they both already wanted to hang out with each other, so we get a really bright purple. And the same is going to happen with our yellow and our blue. So our yellow already wanted to go hang out with blue, was on the cool side, and so was our red. So those secondary colors are going to be bright and vibrant. Now we're going to put down our warm reds, yellows, and blue. And these are, let's see, Pyrrole Scarlet, our New Gamboge Yellow, and our French Ultramarine. So these are all on the warmer side. So the blue has some red undertones, the yellow has red undertones, and the red is also leaning very yellow in nature, so leaning towards the warm side of the color wheel. Now what's going to happen when we mix that red and that blue? Red does not want to hang out with blue here. So we get a very desaturated version of our purple. And that's okay because we need that desaturated color sometimes. And you'll see that red and yellow, they were already leaning towards each other. They wanted to be friends. They wanted to hang out. So we're going to get that bright, vibrant orange on this version of our color wheel here, or our color triangle. And then you're going to see here again with the blue and the yellow, they were leaning towards the warm side. So they were leaning towards red and the opposite of green. So when you mix blue and yellow, you're expecting that bright, vibrant green. But because they had so much red undertone, you're going to see that desaturated version of green. And that's okay. We're going to need that green sometimes. You can also mix colors from the warm side and the cool side together and get some varying effects. So we're going to do our blue, our cool blue, and our warm yellow. This is one of my favorite combinations because it gives us such a really interesting variation of green. So our blue, cool greens on one side of this, but as we go into the yellow, we get this beautiful sap, slightly desaturated green that you're going to use, especially if you're painting landscapes and foliage. You're going to need that beautiful sap green towards that yellow side. And you can do this with all of the colors. And then last but not least, we want to get black. And we do that by mixing all of the colors. Now you can kind of change up the tones of the black and get blacks and grays and browns by interchanging red, yellow, and blue from both the warm and the cool side. But you can see here we get this deep black that can be also faded out to be a gray by adding more water. So you can see here, that's why we really only need these 6 colors in the Daniel Smith set. We can get such a wide variety, and depending on if you mix a little bit more red, a little bit more blue, or a little bit more yellow, it'll pull it to either side of that spectrum. And if it has tones of the opposite color on the color wheel, it will desaturate the color. So there you have it. This hopefully has made mixing your colors a little bit clearer and a little bit easier, so you have a little bit more control over what your colors do and how you can make them do exactly what you want them to do by just using these 6 colors. Thanks again. Don't forget to subscribe, and I can't wait to see you back on the channel for my next episode.